Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. Previously, Bai was accepted as a disciple to become an immortal. In the immortal realm, Bai would discover that his chosen walk is able to double the power of anything he puts in it. However, he loses some lifespan when he does. Fast forward 5 years to when Bai has become the youngest patriarch of the Spirit Stream sector and the Bloodlord of the Bloodstream sector. He leads the two sectors to victory in a war against the Profound Stream sector and is granted the role of patriarch of the newly formed sector. This newly formed sector begins a war against the Sky River Court, and Bai is left with no other option but to form his golden core mid-battle. It's a gruesome process, but he manages to do it and instantly makes his opponent pay for causing great pain to his friends. The story continues after Bai has powered up the entire river-defying sector and uses his immense sword to defeat several Sky River Court disciples. He moves quickly through the battlefield and jumps into the fray. Elsewhere, we see that the Spirit Stream Heirloom and Sky River Court Heirloom are in the middle of a fierce battle. The Spirit Stream Heirloom manages to win the fight, and we see that the two other Supreme Treasures are in a fight nearby as well. The Sky River Court's demon-devouring bizarre doll is quite powerful, but the Bloodstream sector's Night Puppet eventually overpowers it. We then hear that the river-defying sector has high hopes for the war as they realize that the war has entered its third phase, and if they take down their mountain gate, the Sky River Court will soon be completely defeated. Elsewhere, higher powers discuss how they didn't expect a little downstream sector like the river-defying sector to have quite a bit of battle power, as they have been able to force the Sky River Court into a desperate situation so quickly. Another cultivator states that the other speaks too highly of them, and if the Master Sector had not destroyed 70% of the Sky River Court's power with that palm strike, the river-defying sector wouldn't stand a chance against them. Another higher power arrives to scold cultivator Yongheng as he states that the punishment meted out by the higher sector is not something they can carelessly discuss. He threatens him to not bring it up again, otherwise the next one to end up like the Sky River Court will be them. Elsewhere, Li Yuantian instructs Chen to bring out the heirloom now, and points out that the sooner it is eliminated, the sooner this punishment will end. Chen does just as he is told, but hesitates for a moment, and Li Yuantian implores him to get started now. Chen activates the heirloom and we see that it's spread throughout the entire Sky River Court. The ground begins to shake beneath everyone's feet, causing them to wonder what is creating these tremors. Thousands of monsters begin to rain down on the river-defying sector cultivators, causing Bai to realize that this must be the Sky River Court's heirloom. Hundreds of thousands of monsters swarm together, and Bai is forced to order everyone to retreat. The sheer number of monsters is far too overwhelming, so the patriarchs must step in to help protect the others. Bai jumps in to protect some cultivators as well, but is shocked to see that his cauldron is quickly destroyed. Li arrives just in time to help Bai, and he explains that the Sky River Court's heirloom, the Death Beetle, is a beast king at the Celestial Realm. They want to destroy all the Golden Core cultivators of their sector, and even the patriarchs can only temporarily stop the beetles. We then watch as the patriarchs do their best against the wave of beetles, but they quickly realize that they have to get out of the way. Elsewhere, the talking monkey is informed of the situation, but he is actually quite aware of what is going on. He points out that if any blunders were to affect the result of this war, then their frigid sector will truly die out, so he instructs Hongzong to do what he must. Hongzong calls himself an unworthy disciple of the frigid sector and requests permission for the true spirit to take action to eliminate the death beetle. Permission is granted and something amazing begins to happen aboard one of the river-defying sector's battleships. The grand display can be seen far and wide as it finally comes to an end. Li Yuantian is in absolute disbelief to see that it's something called a foreign being. His disbelief instantly turns to excitement as he expresses his amazement at how the river-defying sector actually has a foreign being. All the death beetles unite to form one large swarm and quickly attempt to attack the foreign being. They are instantly stopped by a force field but still manage to surround the foreign being. The foreign being then demonstrates its power by easily eliminating the death beetles. Li Yuantian is extremely impressed by how it was able to cause the destruction of the Beast King with just one finger. However, he explains that foreign beings are ominous. Any sector that has one, or any person who comes into contact with one, will all perish in the end. Li Yuantian then approaches the mantle Chen created as he states that this is the perfect time for a test. Chen cries out that Li Yuantian cannot do what he is about to do and begs him to stop. Li Yuantian of course does not listen as he excitedly continues his activation. Just then, Hongzong notices that there is something strange about the Sky Banyan evil tree and instructs all River Defiance Sector cultivators to withdraw from the battlefield. All sector members are to retreat to the warships immediately. Just then, everyone is shocked as they begin to see that this evil tree is devouring its own cultivators, and doing so in a horrific fashion. Chen is completely beside himself as he expresses his displeasure towards Li Yuantian for sacrificing the lives of all his sector disciples. All this just to revive the evil tree and use it for his test. Chen points out that the Starry Sky Pinnacle sector has never gotten involved with foreign beings and always ignored them, but Li Yuantian has done just the opposite. Elsewhere on the battlefield, the foreign being gives Bai a shred of her ki and blood so that he can use its vitality to complete the corporeal golden core. Doing so will allow him to truly integrate with it and bring out the power of the blood ancestor. We then watch as Bai's body is covered in chains. He states that the vitality he was just given is too strong as it has directly triggered the second shackle of life. The foreign being watches this as she implores him to do everything he can to overcome this challenge and protect the sector. Bai is now completely shackled as he thinks about how the evil tree is already out of control and the situation outside is too terrible to imagine. We then listen as Hongzong states that the evil tree has devoured a huge amount of vitality and the power it has recovered is even greater than before. He tells the other patriarchs that only the 4 of them teaming up can put an end to this, and regardless of whether they live or die, they must at least protect their future descendants. Bai thinks about how he must use this vitality to first break the shackles. He states that even if his physical body ruptures, he must break into core formation and turn the situation around. With this said, we see that Bai has begun to use his undying indestructibility. With this ability, he is able to do as he intended and unleashes a loud scream. Outside, the patriarchs continue their struggle but are soon shocked to see that the blood ancestor has returned. The blood ancestor's body once again begins to move, and the evil tree tries to attack it. The blood ancestor easily stops it though, and the patriarchs are amazed to see the power of a double core cultivator. Bai then states that he will now display his true battle strength that doesn't disgrace the name of the blood ancestor. He uses a powerful attack and proudly proclaims that this war is over. Li Yuantian watches with great excitement as he wants the tree to die, but is surprised to see that Chen is doing something. Chen explains that he has had enough and issues a final order. This shocking order instructs everyone to protect the River Defiance sector from now on, like how they protected the Sky River Court. They are to serve the River Defiance sector forever. The energy surrounding the evil tree completely changes, and we see that everyone is shocked to witness this. Something begins to form, and Hongzong explains to Bai that this is the core of the Sky Banyan evil tree. If Bai controls it, he will control its life and death, and it's up to him whether he wants to accept it. We then see that all across the battlefield, the casualties are beginning to pile up on both sides. Bai decides to accept the core of the Sky Banyan evil tree as he states that the Eastern Ley Line's middle stream region will no longer have a Sky River Court, and the only supreme sector will be the River Defying sector. Chen is glad to see that the core has been accepted, and Li Yuantian decides to grant Chen his wish. He allows the tree to continue living and states that it can be considered as a mark that Chen's Sky River Court once existed. River Defiance sector cultivators all across the battlefield begin to celebrate as they have finally won. They are ecstatic to realize that they are now a middle stream sector and celebrate how the young patriarch Bai is always victorious. Everyone begins to chant this as something gigantic begins to emerge from the sky. Everyone is in absolute awe of this sight as an enormous shadow is cast over the entire area. The thing finally falls from the sky and we see that it's their new home that has the words River Defying Sector engraved on it. Thanks for watching part 39, part 40 will be out soon.